Okay.
Okay, good, Golden?
Yep.
Okay, we'll call the meeting to order today. Can we go around the room and introduce everybody?
I got an announcement later.
Okay, good, because we don't know each other. Other than our voice.
You mean just us?
What?
You can
I don't
ask
care.
us to do whatever. you want.
Doesn't matter, I do just sometime.
I think she's gonna announce it that it's during the.
Good, okay. Is there any addition or revisions to the agenda today? Any announcements?
Madam Chair, this is Linda Davies, practice specialist. I would like to introduce the investigative team members to the investigative committee as we have new staff. Veterans, Deb and Ruth, and would you raise your hands, please? Okay. And then we have Richard, and we have Randy, Abby, where's Randy?
Randy's right
Yeah,
there.
that's right.
Abby, we have Stacy, and we have Suzanne, and those are our nurse investigators. We have Evan, who was promoted to our senior special investigator position, and we have Hannah as our new administrative specialist. This comprises the team that works in investigative division. Their collective nursing backgrounds encompass experience in med-surg, OB, ICU, dialysis, NICU, psych, and home health. Evan and Hannah also complement the nursing staff with technology and data analysis capabilities. So it is truly a team effort when we're looking at process changes, and
It's nice.
all of their backgrounds really, really click. So
Now refresh my memory, is there any opening to, are we sure?
we still have one position that is currently open. It is Evan's former position as a special investigator.
So he's already moved up.
Mhm.
Very good. Okay.
He's doing both at the moment. So, and doing a good job. So, yeah.
Good job. Okay, we'll move on to the approval of the minutes from June the 27th of 2022. Were there any revisions or corrections to the minutes? Didn't see anything, so-
Okay, so I make a motion, and do I need the motion number for that?
No, so you just, I'll put the number down, but no, you can just read the motion.
Okay, I make a motion to approve the minutes from the last meeting.
From June 27, 2022, as written.
To approve,
You should have a motion.
where is it?
Uh,
There's
There
no,
we go.
oh, very,
Because you didn't amend the
We didn't
agenda.
amend.
we didn't.
oh, that's where,
Yeah.
okay,
It
here's
was there.
the.
This is all new.
I
Okay,
approve
exactly.
the minutes
Done it this way.
from June 2022 as written.
Good job.
Okay,
I second.
all right, so,
It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, motion carries.
and I'm supposed to sign.
Right, yeah, we can just
You got
put it in a little file because she takes it. Okay.
I got that. It's even better knowing everybody in here is us. I wasn't sure.
Okay, any unfinished business today? Okay, that's good. So we'll move on to new business, and that would be Linda.
So, Madam Chair, this is Linda Davies, practice specialist. In the packet, starting on page 7, you have KNAP's quarterly report for the period of April 1st through June 30th. And then on page 16, you have their annual report for the last year from July 1st, 2021 to June 30th, 2022. KNAP has also new staff. They have Leslie Suister, who's their executive director, and they have Elizabeth Anderson, who is now the program manager. That's the right name, right? Yeah, right title. We have recently had them join our investigative team meeting, and so we could learn backgrounds and vision and kind of how we can all continue to work together. So we anticipate being able to continue a good relationship. Any questions about their reports?
I love the color bar graphs, though, Linda, and this is really helping us when you just, you categorize it. Very interesting. I appreciate you doing stats like that.
Well, KNAP did this.
Oh,
They've started this. Megan Kelly had
that's
had
good.
started that with me, and so she was one who's produced these. I don't know what
Oh,
we're gonna get going forward. I hope similar.
well, I hope so too, because it gives us a good idea of where they're coming from. And as we suspected, we can kind of guess the work environments that they're coming from and their success rate, which we discuss that all the time.
Of concern for me, like on page 15, was when they say released from program and like non-compliant refused monitoring was at 42%. I don't know what that entails. So that kind of makes me wonder. I want to drill down further into that type of data. So
Looks really nice. I appreciate that. Thank you. And if that's update on the investigative committee meeting changes, then that's some, that was in here too, wasn't it?
yeah, this is on page 22. It starts the update of the efforts to move to a more timely review of cases. That was for the board's direction back in February. And previous discussions, as you know, we've talked about considerations like legal, coma, kappa. We've talked about operational, talked like, is it virtual? Is it in person? Is it via conference call? How are they being done? And any fiscal challenges as well that might be needing to be considered. We've also talked about the commitment needing to be from committee members to attend, because that's important. If we don't have committee members present, then we can't really proceed with a meeting. Also, we reviewed the Journal of Nursing Regulation article from April of 2022 that you guys all got on operational efficiencies. And we surveyed other state boards of nursing as to case processing issues. We've heard from KNAP in June as to the process to rehabilitate a nurse. We've learned also of potential software systems to help streamline processes. All those things are great as far as baselines and future aspirations. But today, what can we do with what we have currently? That's what we're looking at, knowing that in the future, all these other things will help us become even more efficient. So how can we work with what we have? On page 23 is the overview of the big steps involved. And then, I would like to give credit where credit is due. Hannah was the one who took what we do and created this for us. It's a nice visual depiction, overlays the performance-based budget metrics that we are tasked to meet. So that you'll see that the time frame from receipt of complaint to review of complaint has to occur within 2 weeks. And the metric is set at 90%, and we were at 91.19% for the fiscal year. So that's a very good thing. Another, because I think if you remember, we changed some processes last July 1st so that we could meet this metric better. And those things, that tells me then that these things are working. So then the other metric that we have to meet is from the case open to the case, the date the case is presented to the investigative committee for decision. And we're currently at 48.37%. We're also supposed to be at 90% or above. But the reasons for this, we drilled into this a little bit, and we've had change in staff. And there was a log that was not being recorded. I take the hit for that one because wasn't sure that this log needed to be where it needed to be done and whatever, but we've now identified those things. So we're going to finish that and get more data for us. The data that was in there for all of it did show that we were over 90%, but because of all of the cases are in there, some of the data was missing. So we're at 48.37%. I anticipate being able to meet that metric because of what was being done when we had staff that were doing that log. So, but I wanted to explain that to you a little bit more. I am going to present also this to the board on Wednesday, because that was the next thing that I had to kind of discuss with them in September. But I want to kind of explain to you guys, we had looked at the Journal of Nursing regulatory article, which had said 60 was an average caseload per investigator. And that article was based on, that study was based on 10 boards of nurses responding to that study. So maybe it's not all reflective of all boards of nursing, because I will say that we have one investigator who's been here for almost 6 months and she's got almost 50 cases. And we have another investigator who's been here 5 years and she has about 350 cases. So there needs to be a better system to assign cases and to balance the overall caseload. So those are things we can drill down and look at further. If you recall too, I've mentioned in the past that we average about 11 new complaints every week, and about 25% are sworn. 3 of 10 are usually relating to impairment, drug diversions, and abuse. And we open, of the 11 complaints, we open between 7 and 8 of those as a case every week. So we constantly have increasing caseload. And so trying to absorb the backload and figure out how do we get caught up as well as keep on top of things coming in is a challenge, yeah. But we're gonna do it, we're gonna be fine. And the staff is doing a great job of gathering evidence. And we, currently we are paper, but we force everything to be electronic, which is where we're at, and that's fine. But I will say that the team is really focused on solutions and identifying issues, but they also stay focused on how can we solve this problem a little bit better. So are there any other states doing anything different that we can look at and steal from? As far as the discovery phase, you'll see in the subpoenas, I'm going to just speak to just specifically that one specific piece, because we really kind of drilled down in that during team meetings. And, there's a discussion as to if we're going to improve the whole overall process time-wise to get a case reviewed and presented within 9 months after we get it opened, then the subpoena piece alone, once you send out the subpoena via mail, you wait 21 days. We wait another 7 days or a week in order to allow for mailing and processing. When it comes back, we have to log it and scan it and get it to the investigator. If they don't respond within that time frame, then you send out another subpoena. You make a phone call again. So it could be where you have to find out that the person that you sent it to is no longer at that facility, and the facility wants you to send another subpoena. So you send out another subpoena, which again, it elongates the time for processing that case and getting the evidence that you need to summarize. So you're looking at then, possibly, 2 to 3 months before you can actually get the documents in to get that case going. So you're looking to try to streamline, get everything within 9 months. Then we're already kind of just with the subpoenas alone, we're behind the 8 ball. We also have some facilities who just flat out don't respond to the subpoena at all. So we're making a log of those. We'll discuss those in the future because that's a barrier for being able to produce and gather the evidence. But we're talking about electronic subpoenas that's come up in team meeting. Apparently civil and criminal courts are able to do those things, but we're under administrative law. We've heard some other regulatory agencies are able to do that. So we're looking into how and what is legally, logistically, fiscally needed for us to be able to do that. So that is just one small piece of what we do, but you can see just from that kind of how it affects then the overall processing of the case. And we're drilling down into each step. So the team is really good. We continue to review forms and procedures. Hannah is really helping me with the procedures currently, drilling into those because everything still says that we do stuff by paper. So we need to kind of add the pieces that we are looking at things in electronic fashion as well. And I also know that, because of this, the board, in February asked us to be more timely in processing and getting things to you so that you could see them faster too and make decisions. And I appreciate that. But I would like to perhaps make a recommendation or a proposal that the committee could consider. The current impetus is for us to have everything ready so that we can start meeting monthly starting in January 2023. And I'm going to ask that because of the hiring of new staff, new board members are going to be appointed, new committee members will be assigned, and to allow for training and onboarding of all, I would recommend that maybe perhaps we push that start date to be where the investigative committee meets monthly to coincide with fiscal year 24, which would be July 1st of 2023 would be our start date for a monthly investigative committee meeting time instead of the January. But I just would like to make that recommendation to you as a committee. And then finally, in the packet, you'll see the NCSB and disciplinary decision pathway. This, I believe, is going to be discussed at the board meeting as well. And what I do understand is that NCSB is also willing to come and train on this. So it's the update.
That looks really good for helping new ones that who's coming on board, because it's all Greek to us, and it's taken me years to finally learn what Will and the Rachel are talking about with their fancy words. Finally, this would really help. This is wonderful. Yeah, let it refresh my memory. Where did we get the metric of 90%? Where did that come from?
Those are in the performance-based budget metrics. So I'm gonna
Oh,
guess the board is the one who set that.
Is that an old metric, or is it updated, or how many years?
It is an old metric, so if that's something that you all want to look at, it has to be submitted. All this performance-based budget has to be submitted with the budget, because I'm just getting ready to submit that Thursday. But that doesn't mean that we can't change it for next year. We'll just have to, provide the rationale as to
Do
why.
you know
we
how long
changed
it's been, 90, Carol, do you remember? Like 20 years? I don't know. It seems like from hearing you describe, of course, we're exploring the processes, and
Mhm.
it seems like cases are more complicated. It's taking more time and work to get subpoenas, just like you described. That whole process now is so much different than when I started on the board, because these cases are different. I just use the word different. So complicated. And that's why I'm wondering, 90% just sounds like a little high for today's world, that metrics like that. And number two, in February, when the board was discussing all this, you were short a lot of staff
Mhm.
and investigators. And in all fairness, it probably did look kind of not real profitable. February probably didn't look very good, but since you've changed your processes, I can validate, and I'm glad that we have it written down in that chart that you're going to give the board, because I feel like today it's improved a lot, the timeliness of everything. And some of those hurdles you talked about, they may not be able to control those ever, it's just the way the world is today. All right, I support waiting until July of 2023. Monthly meetings. Now, again, can you kind of visualize what would that look like? Is it legally okay with the statutes to do that, Carol? Did anybody change? How would that look like, that meeting?
We brought it up several times for considerations, but I've not had a discussion with anybody as far as like what that looks like.
But there's nothing in statute that say how often you have to meet.
Now
and
that I
stuff.
knew, but we have to do the coma and the kappa, the whole.
Yeah, you would do the whole thing. You have to start out as an open meeting.
And then,
Yeah.
and that's
then,
monthly. That would be monthly.
There had been some discussion
Hmm.
at the retreat in February of having more board members on this committee, and maybe it wouldn't be a monthly commitment. It would be maybe every other. I don't know about that. We do have, I was notified Friday afternoon about a new board member, but there was, of course, no way we could get that person in for this. But so there will be a new board member coming on in December. I don't know if she'll be on this committee.
Given the question.
I just wanted to say too, on that, with the 90% and the increased meetings, how much pressure is that going to put on this group?
That's true.
Because does that mean, okay, that means you guys have to really be in the hot seat, because that wouldn't be right. Because what it should indicate is then it should decrease the load. And I don't think it would. I don't think it would. You can only produce what you can produce. It's kind of like, pardon me for saying it, when a patient checks in late. You can't get them done any faster. You can't rub that calf any faster. Okay? That's how I relate it to. It's really comes down to that. You can only get things done right in the time it takes to get it done right. So it takes what it takes.
Yeah.
So.
And I feel with all the complicated cases that we're getting, that you all are doing a very good job as is, because you've
It's
got,
meticulous.
yeah, you've got hurdles with the holdups and the weights and the,
Mhm.
you know.
So there's so
Documents
many
are-
other things that have to be kind of broken down,
Yeah.
getting it where it's not paper, getting it to where you're fully staffed.
Yeah.
Before we step into so many other aspects of it,
Yeah.
that might need to be addressed before we change too much.
Mhm.
I don't know how as a group, but I think since it's a team effort, that might need to come from a team.
I can say too, I think with Hannah here, we can probably give an update on the metric, meeting the 90% of metric, you know, once, now that we can start logging that information. We're also looking to kind of do a few other logs that we're tweaking a little bit more so we can get different types of data that we haven't gotten before that might help us as well, drill down and figure out where else are there barriers to the process. So those things, like you said, they take time, and then it takes time to be able to explain it. Carol and I meet every 2 weeks and discuss, and she knows where we're at, so I don't hide anything that we're doing. So because sometimes I have no clue, where do you want me to go with this?
You know, and the board didn't have any of this data in February, you know, now we have, there's a picture, you know, what we're doing and what we look like with the data supporting it. So I hopefully, I hope they would not, they would understand that I'm putting off until July, because we still don't know yet what it's gonna look like. Because now you have full staff and.
Well, almost,
Almost.
but you still have other steps you're implementing.
Yeah, we still have to get people trained
Yeah.
too.
You're still training,
Right.
you're still trying to go to total electronic.
Mhm.
And paper to electronic is a major step.
I appreciate that.
They'll support that. Do we need our rationale? Can you hear our rationale from our discussion?
I can, but I think that
That's our rationale.
it would come from you as the committee.
To read
report.
it, yeah, okay, kind of write something fancy sounding.
I'll write my recommendation down. And
Yes,
that
please,
I've
'cause
written
I
down.
think we're all in agreement.
I agree.
Just hearing and seeing and looking.
As
and-
part of the team,
Wow,
I mean,
this is
we
exciting.
rely heavily on what you tell us, and I see the work.
Oh, I know.
I see the work.
It's so, you know, the process just seems like it's a little more short up, because just we can tell by reading the faces, it's, you poor folks.
You know, I can also add that, because we have a cutoff, excuse me, of when cases have to be ready
Yeah,
so they can get uploaded to your iPads. So I can say that, you know, I heard from 4 staff. I have a case that I'm almost done with. Can I add it to this month, to this quarter's discussion, or does it have to wait until December? So, you know, there is the potential that we would have cases, because they process that at different time frames.
right.
That there is a potential that we could have more cases to be heard on a more frequent basis.
Right, now that I understand, but monthly, let's talk about that
Well, and
later.
yeah,
Down the
and
road. But
I
I'm
honestly
thinking-
think with board members, it might be a bit hard to take that time away from
It's a big commitment.
It is a big commitment.
getting.
There could be some tweaks to that proposal that and we'll come out with a win-win. You know, I still
Right.
think we're gonna have a win-win process when we're done. It was probably long needed. I think we were kind of stuck in the old way mud, and these cases didn't match the old processes that you're getting today, ladies. I've been doing this 6 years now, and you two have been outlived me here. But these cases aren't they more complicated and take longer to do, for sure, so. Yeah, I'm excited. I mean, I think it was a good thing it happened, and the challenge came up, and, you know, it's always, QA is always healthy. It's a healthy process. always.
Uncomfortable but healthy.
It's a healthy process. You don't have to change everything, and you don't have to do it overnight. My goodness, so. Great work. I just love this. I'm glad we have some kind of a picture to show the board. And I love the charts with NCSBN. That helps. It will help everybody
I
understand.
love meeting the investigators.
Yeah. Good job. I feel better too, because I was worried about that in December.
How are we doing?
Or even in January. It's like we're just not ready to do that yet. There's too many questions. Okay, we'll recommend that it be moved to July 2023. Very good. Okay, next on the agenda is quasi.
We have the NCSBN,
Okay.
substance use disorder,
Oh,
so
sorry.
that's okay.
Oh, yeah.
There's nothing in this one.
It's not in there.
Oh,
You just got it.
sorry.
It's on the agenda, but
It's not in
the
here. You have
packet.
some
She was
handouts.
going
Oh,
according to the
oh,
packet.
there wasn't anything to
What is
add
the update?
to that. There was a second call that I was on, but it kind of led me to believe that the licensee would have to enroll into the study and not necessarily the Board of Nursing and the IPD program, like KNAP. And with new KNAP staff, I'm not quite sure that we want to add more pieces for them to have to kind of juggle. Plus, I've not seen any other types of data sharing agreements or anything of that nature to know, and I don't know if anything was told at the annual conference about any of that, but I guess I have more questions than answers from that, so I just, we had said before, I think we would look at it if it was statutorily, appropriate or allowed or whatever, but I've not seen anything further to say. We should definitely enroll in this study, so. Unless Adrian or Carol heard something different yet from anybody.
And Kathy Russell's gonna be presenting at the meeting on Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Right, the board meeting.
So
yeah.
perhaps she
For
can
a
give
little
an
bit.
update if she knows of anything at that time.
You can ask her. She's gonna be presenting virtually. She's not actually going to be here in person.
Oh, okay.
She's not able to do that.
Well, it's better to get the people that are doing it to answer questions than to come through us and you and everybody. That's good. Very good. Okay. Now we're gonna go into quasi.
Okay. So now we do this. All right. I move that the meeting of the investigation committee be closed to deliberate on matters relating to decisions involving the exercise of quasi judicial functions as authorized by the Kansas 2013. Do you read all that?
KSA 2013.
75-4318 G1. Anybody want to second it?
I second.
Okay.
Moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay.
First time. Okay.
Motion carried.
Motion carried.
Now we're
finals.
Yeah.
And I would have to
can't-
go print them out like an Office Depot. I had to work in
I
paper
just-
when it was coming to like working through and
Well,
highlighting stuff.
usually I do it on my big computer, but like I said, it was
Because you
just this weekend, and well, I worked Unmute.
And then undo the video.
What'd you touch?
Some sort of little rubber underneath the table, don't touch it.
Hi.
Okay. And here we are.
Let me get my stuff here real quick.
We're ready?
We're ready.
Okay. We will now read some motions. We will reconvene after our break and read our motions.
Oh,
I think something went wrong with your camera.
I'm sorry, what?
The camera's not on.
The camera's looking like maybe we're looking at a hand or something. I'm not sure.
whose hand?
It's kind of, it looks like something's covering the camera. I'm not really sure what it is.
Where's the camera?
Right there.
Yeah,
It's right there.
Hmm.
Is there a button to push on the camera, Colton?
I'm not sure. This is Adrian's thing.
Adrian's over at the program administrator.
Okay. There could be a, but because he unconnected it, so maybe it has to be a reconnection button of some sort.
I mean, really not just the my foot.
What if your foot's on?
Sorry, I hope we're not on live now.
Did that do anything?
It doesn't look like anything's changed. I mean, at the end of the day, we're just closing up, right?
Yeah,
I mean, I don't think the camera's that important for that. We can hear you.
I'm not seeing.
Okay.
Let me make sure this is, yeah, he's got it plugged in.
Yeah.
Oh, well, let me see, hold on.
Wow.
I'm not sure what this is too. Is there some place?
Oh, probably.
Oh, there it is.
There it is. Oh, we're gonna see these technical wizards.
Sorry. Let me get it in there. Okay, how's that?
I'm still not seeing anything.
Flashing, what's it?
It's flashing.
Yeah, this little thing here. The little owls are,
Is that what it is? Is it an owl?
well, yeah, this is called an owl thing.
What's no longer flashing? So that.
See something now?
Nope.
Oh, it's talking.
Wait.
You're checking.
What does that do? Anything? The light came on.
But he wasn't on. Heard him breathe.
It's like Darth Vader.
Yeah, we can hear you breathe. I wonder if Tony's here.
We're downstairs.
You can hear me?
Hear you.
Um,
How to get the camera back on. Let me go see if Tony's in his office.
You may need to select the camera in Zoom, like where you can like turn the video on and off, because it looks like it's viewing something. I'm seeing something. It's just covered up. I'm guessing it's the laptop.
It says there's video.
I'm guessing I'm looking through the laptop web camera because I'm definitely seeing through a camera. I'm seeing light flash, like it's like it's covered.
I've got that one.
Talk about processing times.
Now, I stopped the video on the laptop. Does that help?
I mean, that just gets it to where you're at the icon.
Oh, yeah.
She does that to me all the time.
Oh,
For like a month. She just kind of inches closer to me in my office.
Oh,
and I'm like,
that
"Oh,
might be doing it. I think that did it.
Here, okay.
Oh, there you
Okay.
go.
Thanks, Hannah.
Are we on?
Yeah, you're good.
You're ready. Okay.
So then do we need to go get Will now?
No.
Oh,
we don't need him.
We don't need him for
Closing
this?
out the meeting.
Okay.
We'll go ahead. and
Okay.
We'll go ahead and read our minutes, our vote, motions.
All right. So do you want to read the motion? Because I'm messing up.
I move that the investigative committee find that reasonable grounds exist for believing the applicant or licensee is guilty of violating the Kansas Nurse Practice Act in the following cases, and that those cases be continued for further proceedings conducted in accordance with the provision of the Kansas Administrative Procedure Act. Is there a second?
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passed. I move that the investigative committee find the following cases to be closed for the reason that no action is needed.
I make the motion.
I second. Any discussion? Motion carried. I move that the investigative committee approve by consensus the case disposition represented on the spreadsheet titled Reinstatement Application for Ratification.
Was that a motion? I make the motion.
Okay. I second. Moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carried. I move that the investigative committee approve by consensus the case disposition represented on the spreadsheet titled False Information.
I make the motion.
I second. It's been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carried. I move that the investigative committee approve by consensus the case disposition represented on the spreadsheet titled Endorsement Application for Ratification.
I make the motion.
I second. It has been moved and seconded. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. I move that the investigative committee approve by consensus the case disposition represented on the spreadsheet titled Unlicensed Practice.
I make the motion.
I second. Moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion is carried. I move that the investigative committee approve by consensus the case disposition represented on the spreadsheet titled CME for ratification.
I make the motion.
I second. Been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion is carried. I move that the investigative committee approve by consensus the case disposition represented on the spreadsheet titled Inactivated by Staff.
I make the motion.
I second. It has been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried.
Let's go on.
Did you do the one for new grad?
Oh, we didn't. The new
Is it in
grad,
there?
Do you have one? If not, I can.
for new grads,
Is there a board member who would like to make the following motion? I move that the investigative committee approve by consensus the case distribution represented on the spreadsheet titled new grads with conviction and or disciplinary action.
I'll make the motion.
I second. It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carried. These were the first parts. Okay, that's all the motions that we had to read. Next, we'll move on to agenda for the December 2022 committee meeting. Do we have any items that anybody can think of to put on for December?
I can give an update again as far as anything
Okay,
else that
update.
we're doing. but-
Okay. Outside the net? Okay, sounds good. Then we're ready for adjournment, and there is no motion, is I'm correct? Correct. There's no motion, so the meeting is adjourned. Thank you,
Yay.
everybody.
Thank you.